I stared at my phone screen as message notifications kept flooding in. The family group chat was particularly active today, with my sister Amanda leading the charge. Amanda, great news everyone, we're finally selling that old house tomorrow. Mom, about time. The realtor says we can get $1.2 million for it. Dad, perfect timing with the market so hot. Brother Mike, what about Sarah? She's still in London. Amanda, who cares? She abandoned us anyway. Mom, she can find her own place when she returns. If she returns, I leaned back in my office chair, overlooking the London skyline from the 40th floor of Kingston Financial. 3 years ago, I'd left home to find myself. At least that's what they thought. In reality, I'd been building one of Europe's most successful property investment firms. My executive assistant Victoria knocked and entered with a stack of documents. Miss Bennett, your 2 p.m. with the board of directors starts in 10 minutes. Also, the acquisition of the Watson Street properties in your hometown is complete. Perfect timing, I smiled, picking up my phone again. The family chat was still buzzing. Amanda, already found a buyer. Some investment company. They're paying cash. Dad, finally we can get rid of this burden. Your mother and I never should have let Sarah stay there rent-free. Mike, she probably trashed the place anyway. Remember how she couldn't even hold down a job at Burton's Coffee? I opened my email and composed a message to Maxwell Rivers, the realtor handling the sale of my childhood home. Dear Mr. Rivers, as the legal owner of 1472 Maple Avenue and the surrounding properties documentation attached, I must inform you that any sale attempt without my authorization is fraudulent. Please confirm receipt. Best regards, Sarah Bennett, CEO, Kingston Financial Group. Within minutes my phone rang. Maxwell Rivers' name flashed on the screen. Miss Bennett, I had no idea. Your family presented themselves as the owners. No worries, Maxwell, you weren't to know, but I suggest you inform them immediately that the sale cannot proceed. And feel free to mention who owns the property. I ended the call and waited. 3 years of careful planning was about to pay off. Victoria appeared again. Board meeting is ready, Miss Bennett. One moment, I held up a finger, eyes fixed on my phone. Right on cue, the family chat exploded. Maxwell, I apologize, but I must inform you that 1472 Maple Avenue is not available for sale. The property belongs to Kingston Financial Group, specifically to CEO Sarah Bennett. The chat went silent for exactly 47 seconds. Then Mom, what? Amanda. This must be a mistake. Dad, impossible. We own that house. Mike, Sarah, a CEO. I smiled and put my phone away. Now we can start the board meeting. The next 2 hours were productive. Kingston Financial had grown exponentially under my leadership, but today's acquisition was personal. I'd spent 3 years methodically buying every property on Maple Avenue through various subsidiaries. My family's house was the final piece. As the board members filed out congratulating me on another successful quarter, my phone had accumulated 47 missed calls and 156 messages. I picked it up just as another call came through. Amanda. Hello, sister. Sarah. What is going on? What kind of sick joke is this? No joke, Amanda. I own the house. Actually, I own the entire street. That's impossible. You couldn't afford a cup of coffee 3 years ago. I looked at the London skyline again, remembering that day 3 years ago, the day that changed everything. Flashback, the family meeting had been called to discuss Sarah's future. I sat at our dining room table while my family towered over me. You're 30 years old and what do you have to show for it? Dad demanded. Your sister's a successful realtor, Mike's taking over my construction company. And you can't even keep a barista job. Mom chimed in. We've decided you can stay in the house, but you'll need to pay rent. It's time you learned responsibility. I have a better idea, I said quietly. I'm going to London. I've been offered a position. The laughter was immediate and cruel. London? Amanda sneered. What are they hiring? Professional failures. You'll crawl back within a month. Mike added. Dad slammed his hand on the table. If you leave, don't expect any support from us. That house will be sold the moment you're gone. I stood up, shoulders straight. I understand perfectly. What they didn't know was that I'd spent the last 5 years secretly building my business knowledge. Online courses in finance and real estate. Night classes in business management. A mentor in London who saw my potential. My failure at Burton's Coffee was actually market research. I'd been analyzing property values and investment patterns while serving lattes. Present Sarah. Are you even listening? Amanda's voice brought me back. Actually, I have a meeting, but you might want to check your email. I've sent some important documents regarding your real estate license. I hung up as Amanda's screech cut off mid-word. Victoria entered again. The documents have been delivered to the State Real Estate Commission as requested. Shall I put Miss Amanda Bennett's client list on screen? Please, the wall screen filled with transaction records. 3 years of Amanda's deals, meticulously documented by my team. The fraudulent applications. The hidden fees. The elderly clients she'd swindled. My phone buzzed again. Mike this time. What do you want? His voice was shaking. Just to chat, brother. How's the construction company? Still using substandard materials while billing for premium? Silence. I have a board meeting tomorrow morning, I continued. We're discussing which properties to develop first on Maple Avenue. The old house needs work, but I'm more concerned about your warehouse. Those building code violations are troubling. You've been watching us, all this time. Learning from the best like Dad always said. Speaking of Dad, is he there? Put me on speaker. I heard shuffling, then Dad's voice. Sarah, whatever game you're playing, no game, Dad, just business. Remember when you said I'd never understand real estate? That I'd never amount to anything? Well, I own 30% of the commercial property in town. Your construction contracts, they're with my subsidiaries. That burden of a house you were so eager to sell, I bought it 2 years ago through a shell company. You've actually been paying rent to me. The silence was deafening. I have another call coming in, I said cheerfully. Oh, and Dad, the State Building Commission might have some questions about those contracts. I'd suggest hiring a good lawyer. I ended the call and turned to Victoria. Send in the auditors tomorrow. Full inspection of every property, every contract, every transaction, and book me a flight home for next week. I think it's time for a family reunion. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. Please, we need to talk about this. I typed back. Of course, I'll be home soon. By the way, how's Aunt Helen? Mom's response was immediate. What do you mean? The power of attorney you forced her to sign last year. The investments you made with her retirement fund. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? No response. Victoria appeared one final time. Miss Bennett, your car is ready for the meeting with the London Investment Board. I stood straightening my suit. Thank you, Victoria. And please send flowers to my family. Something appropriate for the occasion. What occasion shall I put on the card? I smiled, picking up my briefcase. Welcome to the real estate business. As I rode the elevator down, my phone buzzed with notifications from real estate news sites. Kingston Financial Group acquires entire historic street in major U.S. deal. Sarah Bennett, the silent empire builder, behind Kingston Financial. Major real estate scandal brewing. State Commission launches investigation. The doors opened to the lobby where my driver waited. Home, Miss Bennett? Not yet, I replied, sliding into the car. But soon. In my purse, my phone lit up with another family message. I didn't need to read it. 3 years of planning, of watching, of building in silence while they mocked and dismissed me. It had all led to this moment. They wanted to sell my house while I was away. I opened my laptop to review the auditor's preliminary findings. Tomorrow they'd learn what it really means to lose everything. But unlike them, I'd offer a path to redemption. They'd just have to earn it, starting from the bottom, just like I did. The car pulled away from Kingston Financial's headquarters, and I watched London's skyline fade into the distance. Soon I'd be home, and this time I wouldn't be the one getting pushed around. The private jet touched down exactly at 3:47 p.m. local time. Through the window, I could see my hometown sprawled beneath gray autumn skies. Victoria handed me a tablet displaying the latest updates. The auditors have completed their initial sweep, she reported. The findings are significant. I scrolled through the report, each page confirming what I'd long suspected. Dad's construction company had been cutting corners for years. Amanda's real estate dealings were riddled with fraud. Mom's financial abuse of elderly relatives went back decades. And Mike, dear arrogant Mike, had been embezzling from his own department. My phone buzzed with another message from Amanda. The state commission suspended my license. What did you do? I ignored it, focusing instead on the local news article. Victoria had flagged. Breaking major investigation launched into Bennett Construction and Real Estate. Federal authorities have opened an investigation into multiple companies owned by the Bennett family. Sources confirm. Allegations include fraud, elder abuse, and building code violations. The car pulled up to my childhood home. My home, legally and rightfully. The familiar two-story Victorian, looked exactly as I remembered, though the garden had seen better days. Two other vehicles were parked in the driveway. Amanda's Mercedes and Mike's Range Rover. Perfect. Victoria, are the security teams in position? Yes, Miss Bennett. We have personnel monitoring all exits and the street is secured. I stepped out of the car, straightening my charcoal Armani suit. The front door opened before I could reach it, revealing Amanda's furious face. You vindictive little, careful sister, I interrupted smoothly. Your words might be recorded, though given the evidence we already have, a few insults won't make much difference. I walked past her into the house. The living room held the rest of my family. Mom perched nervously on the edge of the sofa, Dad pacing by the fireplace, and Mike slumped in an armchair, his face ashen. Family meeting, I smiled. How nostalgic. Sarah, Dad stepped forward, his businessman mask firmly in place. Let's discuss this reasonably. Whatever you think you know, I know everything. I cut him off, setting my briefcase on the coffee table. Every fraudulent contract, every elderly client Amanda swindled, every substandard material you used while charging premium rates, every penny Mike stole. I turned to Mom. And let's not forget Aunt Helen's retirement fund. How is she enjoying that investment opportunity you forced her into? We can explain, Mom began. No need. The authorities will handle the explanations. I sat down, crossing my legs. But I'm not completely heartless. I'm here to offer you a choice. Victoria entered, carrying 4 folders. She distributed them silently before taking her position by the door. What's this? Mike asked, staring at his folder like it might bite. Your future, I replied. Option 1. Face the consequences of your actions. The evidence has already been submitted to the relevant authorities. Given the scope of your crimes, I'd estimate significant prison time. The room fell silent except for Mom's sharp intake of breath. Option 2, I continued, gesturing to the folders. You start over, legitimately, under my supervision. Amanda flipped through her folder, her face growing paler. This an entry-level position. At Kingston Financial's new local office, yes, all of you will start at the bottom. Learn the business properly this time. No shortcuts, no fraud, no exploitation. This is ridiculous. Dad exploded. I've been in construction for 30 years, and in those 30 years, how many lives did you put at risk with substandard materials? How many families lost their savings because you cut corners? I pulled out my phone, showing them the screen. Remember the Jefferson Avenue project? The premium apartments you built last year? I swiped through photos of cracking foundations, faulty wiring, mold infestations. A family of 4 could have died when that balcony collapsed. Fortunately, my inspectors caught it in time. Mike leaned forward. You've been watching us all along, since the day I left. Did you really think I was in London, just serving coffee? I was building an empire while you were all too busy mocking me to notice. I stood, walking to the fireplace, where family photos still sat. Me at graduation, already being pushed aside, as Amanda took center stage. Mike's promotion party, where Dad had loudly wondered why I couldn't be more like my siblings. You have 24 hours to decide, I said, not turning around. The positions are legitimate offers, benefits, fair pay, real training, a chance to rebuild your lives and reputations, or prison. Amanda finished bitterly. Your choice. I finally turned back to them. Oh, and one more thing. This house, the furniture needs to be cleared out by tomorrow. I'm renovating. Mom's head snapped up. You're evicting us. Consider it motivation to make the right choice. I nodded to Victoria, who opened her tablet. Your temporary accommodations have been arranged, she informed them. Modest but comfortable apartments. Your new starting salaries will cover the rent, with careful budgeting. Starting salaries, Dad's voice rose. I made 7 figures last year. Illegally, I reminded him. The choice is simple, honest work or prosecution. Unlike you, I'm giving you a chance to earn your way back. My phone buzzed, another news alert. I held it up so they could see. Update: federal agents seize records from Bennett Construction. Sources suggest evidence of systematic fraud. 24 hours, I repeated, gathering my briefcase. Victoria will provide moving assistance and details about your temporary housing. I suggest you use this time wisely. I reached the door before Amanda's voice stopped me. Why, what? Why offer us jobs at all? Why not just turn us in? I turned back one final time, meeting each of their eyes. Because 30 years ago, this family had principles. Grandfather built his business on honest work and fair dealings. You corrupted that legacy, but I haven't forgotten what it could be, what it should be. And if we refuse, Mike asked, then you face the consequences of your choices, just like I faced mine when I left 3 years ago. Outside, the autumn wind carried the scent of falling leaves. My driver opened the car door, but I paused, looking back at my childhood home. Through the window, I could see them, my family huddled around the coffee table, their futures contained in those simple folders. Victoria joined me in the car. The security teams will monitor them through the night. The moving company arrives at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you. I watched the house recede in the rearview mirror. Any predictions? Given the evidence we've compiled, they'll take the jobs. Pride is one thing, but prison. I nodded, opening my laptop to review the renovation plans for the house. The Victorian architecture would be preserved, but inside, everything would be transformed, just like its owners. My phone buzzed one final time. A text from Amanda. You planned this all along, didn't you? Since the day you left. I typed back, no, I planned it. Since the day you all taught me that success only counts if you crush others to achieve it. I chose a different path. Now you can too. The car turned onto the main road, passing the Welcome to Milton Falls sign. Below it, a new billboard caught the setting sun. Kingston Financial Group, building tomorrow's legacy today. Soon my family would learn what that legacy truly meant. The question was, were they ready to earn it? The morning sun cast long shadows across my office in the newly established Kingston Financial local headquarters. I'd chosen the old Morrison building downtown, a historic landmark my family had tried to demolish years ago for a quick profit. Now restored to its former glory, it stood as a symbol of what could be saved with the right intentions. Victoria entered with the morning reports. They've all accepted. I looked up from my computer. All of them. Yes. Your father was the last holdout, but after the FBI visited their temporary housing this morning with additional evidence, I nodded, opening the personnel files on my screen. 4 new employee profiles. James Bennett, entry-level construction site inspector. Margaret Bennett, junior compliance officer. Amanda Bennett, administrative assistant. Real estate division. Michael Bennett, maintenance supervisor. They're waiting in the lobby, Victoria added, along with the other new hires. Perfect. Let's not give them special treatment. They can go through orientation like everyone else. The security feed showed them in the lobby. Dad in an off-the-rack suit instead of his usual bespoke attire. Mom clutching her purse like a shield. Amanda without her designer labels. And Mike, looking surprisingly relieved. I pressed the intercom. Send them in. All of them. 20 people filed into my office, 16 regular new hires, and my family, trying their best to blend in. They failed miserably. Welcome to Kingston Financial, I began, standing behind my desk. You're here because you showed potential, determination, and, most importantly, a commitment to ethical business practices. My eyes met each family member's gaze as I continued. Some of you may know that this company recently uncovered significant fraud in our community. Corrupt real estate deals, dangerous construction practices, financial abuse of vulnerable citizens. Amanda flinched. Dad stared at the floor. That ends now. Kingston Financial is committed to rebuilding trust in this community. Each of you will play a crucial role in that mission. I picked up a stack of folders. These are your first assignments. Some of you will be helping families recover from fraudulent real estate transactions. Others will be inspecting buildings for safety violations. Every task matters. Every detail counts. Walking around my desk, I distributed the folders personally. When I reached my family, I paused. Mr. Bennett, I addressed Dad formally. Your first inspection is the Jefferson Avenue apartments. Document everything. He took the folder without meeting my eyes. Miss Bennett, I handed Mom her assignment. You'll be reviewing cases of financial misconduct. Start with the retirement community accounts. Her hands trembled as she accepted the folder. Miss Amanda Bennett, you'll be assisting with client restitution. Full documentation of every fraudulent transaction from the past 5 years. She bit her lip but took the folder. And Mr. Michael Bennett, the maintenance division needs a complete audit of all building materials. Begin with your father's recent projects. Mike nodded, looking almost eager. Your supervisors will provide detailed instructions, I concluded. Remember, integrity isn't just a word on our website. It's how we do business. Dismissed. As the group filed out, I called out, Family Bennett, a moment. Once we were alone, I sat on the edge of my desk. The media will run the story tomorrow. Full exposure of your previous activities, but they'll also report on your new role. Redemption narrative? Amanda asked bitterly. Reality, I corrected. You have a chance to make things right, actually help people instead of exploiting them. And if we fail, Mom's voice was barely a whisper, then you fail honestly. That's more than you offered your victims. Dad finally spoke. The Jefferson Avenue assignment. You want me to document my own mistakes. Every single one. The residents deserve to know the truth. And you need to face it. Mike stepped forward. I've been reading about Kingston Financial's ethics policies. They're impressive. They're necessary, I replied. Now get to work. Your supervisors are waiting. They turned to leave, but Mom paused at the door. The house. Have you decided what you're doing with it? Yes, I pressed a button, displaying the renovation plans on the wall screen. It's becoming a community center. Free financial literacy classes, housing assistance, senior advocacy programs. Grandfather would have liked that, Mom said softly. Yes, he would have. Now go make him proud. For once, after they left, Victoria entered with a local newspaper. The headline read, Bennett Family Empire Crumbles. Kingston Financial CEO reveals years of fraud. Below was a smaller headline. Hope for victims, new community programs. Launched, the first claims are coming in, Victoria reported. People wanting restitution for Amanda's real estate scams. Families affected by the faulty construction. Make sure they're all handled promptly, I instructed, and set up the victim support fund we discussed. Already done. Oh, and the renovation crew found something interesting at the house. She handed me a dusty leather journal. Grandfather's handwriting filled the pages. His business philosophy, his hopes for the family legacy. One entry caught my eye. Success isn't measured by what you gain, but by what you give back. I pray my children and grandchildren remember this. I closed the journal gently. Have this restored and displayed in the community center's entrance. Victoria nodded. The contractors also finished clearing out the old furniture. Everything's in storage as requested. Good. Schedule the demolition for the interior walls next week. Time to rebuild, literally and figuratively. My phone buzzed with a message from Mike. Just found 3 more material substitution schemes from last year. Adding them to the report. Then Amanda located another elderly victim of our real estate scams. She lost her life savings. I'm documenting everything. Mom, the retirement community files. I had no idea how many people we hurt. And finally, Dad, the Jefferson Avenue inspection is worse than you knew. I'm so sorry. I looked out my office window at the town below. Somewhere out there, Grandfather was probably smiling. His legacy wasn't lost after all. Just temporarily misplaced. Victoria cleared her throat. Your 2 p.m. is here. The State Banking Commission wants to discuss the victim restitution program. I straightened my jacket and picked up grandfather's journal. Let's show them how real business ethics work. The autumn sun caught the Kingston Financial sign on the building across the street. Below it, a smaller plaque had been installed that morning, in memory of Harold Bennett, who taught us that true success lifts others up. My family was learning that lesson the hard way, but they were learning, and sometimes, that's enough. 6 months later, the community center's grand opening drew a larger crowd than expected. Standing at the podium, I surveyed the gathered faces, victims of my family's schemes, local media, and current Kingston Financial employees, including 4 particular staff members who'd earned their way to small promotions. Welcome to the Bennett Community Resource Center, I began. Though perhaps welcome back is more appropriate, as this building has been part of our community for generations. Like many of you, it just needed a chance to transform. In the front row, my family sat quietly. Dad, now a senior safety inspector, had just completed his 100th honest building assessment. Mom's work in victim advocacy had helped dozens of seniors recover their lost savings. Amanda, recently promoted to restitution coordinator, had tracked down and helped restore funds to over 200 fraud victims. And Mike had revolutionized our materials verification system. 6 months ago, this town learned some difficult truths, I continued. We discovered that success built on deception isn't success at all. But we also learned something more important. Redemption is possible when people choose to change. Victoria appeared at my side, handing me a folder. I opened it, revealing the final audit reports. Today, I'm pleased to announce that Kingston Financial has completed full restitution to all identified victims of previous fraudulent practices. Every family who lost money in real estate scams, every resident of improperly constructed buildings, every senior citizen who was financially exploited, all have been made whole. Applause broke out. In the audience, I spotted Aunt Helen, now fully recovered and serving on our senior advisory board. But this center represents more than just making amends. It's about preventing future exploitation. Our free financial literacy programs, housing assistance services, and senior advocacy initiatives will ensure that our community never again falls victim to the kind of practices we've overcome. I gestured to the restored portrait hanging in the lobby, my grandfather smiling benevolently. My grandfather believed that business should lift people up, not tear them down. This center honors his vision, and I'm proud to announce that our first board of directors includes 4 individuals who've demonstrated remarkable commitment to transforming their lives and our community. My family looked up, surprised. We hadn't discussed this. James, Margaret, Amanda, and Michael Bennett have spent 6 months working from the ground up, facing their mistakes and helping their victims. Their experience, both in causing harm and making amends, makes them uniquely qualified to ensure this center never strays from its mission. Dad wiped a tear. Mom clutched Amanda's hand. Mike sat straighter, determination in his eyes. The past cannot be changed, I concluded. But the future is built one choice at a time. This center stands as proof that redemption isn't given, it's earned. After the ceremony, my family approached as the crowd dispersed. Board members, Amanda asked softly, "You've earned it, all of you. The supervisor's reports have been exemplary, and more importantly, your former victims have spoken up on your behalf. We won't let you down," Mike promised. Not again. Dad cleared his throat. Sarah, about 3 years ago, water under the bridge, I interrupted. You taught me valuable lessons, just not the ones you intended. Mom touched the wall, tracing the center's mission statement, building community through truth, service, and second chances. Is that why you really came back? She asked. To give us a second chance. I smiled, retrieving grandfather's journal from my briefcase. I came back because someone needed to restore his legacy. I just never expected you all would help do it. Victoria approached with the latest community impact report. The numbers were impressive. Hundreds of families helped, millions in restitution paid, dozens of buildings properly repaired. The next class starts in an hour, she reminded me. Financial literacy for high school students. Perfect. I turned to Amanda. You're teaching this one. Show them how to spot the kind of schemes you use to run. She nodded, determination replacing her former arrogance. I'll make sure they never fall for those tricks. As they headed to their respective duties, Dad to a building inspection, Mom to a senior advocacy meeting, Mike to a materials verification seminar, and Amanda to her class, I watched them go with satisfaction. Victoria handed me one final document, the deed to the community center, now officially transferred to a public trust. Shall I archive the old case files? She asked. No, I decided. Keep them as a reminder. Sometimes you have to remember where you started to appreciate how far you've come. Outside, the autumn sun caught the center's new sign, casting a warm glow over the words "Building Tomorrow's Legacy." Today, below it a smaller plaque read, "Dedicated to the Bennett family. Proof that it's never too late to choose a better path." The sound of laughter drifted from the classroom where Amanda was starting her lesson. Through the window, I could see Dad examining building plans with a young architect. Mom sat with a group of seniors, while Mike demonstrated proper material testing procedures to a construction crew. My phone buzzed with a message from the London office. "Ready for you to return whenever you're done fixing your hometown." I typed back, "Actually, I think I'll stay a while. Some legacies are worth building in person." Looking around at what we'd created, not just the center, but the renewed sense of community, the restored trust, the genuine desire to help others, I knew Grandfather would be proud, not just of me, but of all of us. Sometimes the hardest lessons lead to the most meaningful transformations. And sometimes, just sometimes, family redemption stories have happy endings. Even if they take 3 years, careful planning, and a complete rebuilding from the ground up. The end.